Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Monday afternoon / evening Zoom edition. And the market was pretty mellow over the weekend. We had a rather disastrous Thursday and Friday. Bitcoin and Ethereum dropped over 10% each, dragging down the altcoins as well. Though some of them hung in there and did pretty well. But we'll start with our Bitcoin and Ethereum charts. Actually, we might look at that alert. Two alerts. All right, we're going to break away from what we usually do and check out some alerts. I've got negative divergence going off on VET and DIDEX on the 15-minute chart. So let's check it out. We'll go to VET. In the last two bearish divergences did really well on VET, so I think I'm going to take that one. You can see it's trending up, and yeah, looks like a good entry. So I'm going to take that on my trading program. You won't see this, but this is something I will show with some frequency when it's available to the masses. And let's look at DIDEX as well. Took one earlier today and caught that big move. So yeah, bearish divergence has done really well for DIDEX in the recent past. I'll take that one too. All right. Okay. Actually, I was already in one for DIDEX, which means that might have repainted. That happens sometimes on this this indicator. So it might have gone off, say around here, and then it got new information, repainted, put another one in there. All right, I'm having some trouble getting my VET trade to go through, so I'll bail on that. Okay, where was I? Bitcoin. All right, so I've drawn a new range as of Friday. We had two positive days, slight positive days on Saturday and Sunday. It's my day chart. And we're a little bit negative today. Was down about 0.4 or 5% and then shot up a little bit in the positive, and then now we're dipping down again. So mostly sideways today on Bitcoin. And I wanted to revise something I said on Friday. I talked about a few different possibilities as to why the market's dropped. I did leave out something significant. If you watched that one or attended it, it's a nagging feeling I was leaving out something. What may have happened is that we had all the news that we talked about, the Elon Musk thing and other, the Chinese company that went under or filed bankruptcy. So those might have tipped the scale a little bit, caused the market to go down, and then probably in this vicinity, we had a bunch of either stop losses or liquidations on longs that caused a sell-off, a cascade of sell-offs, because a lot of this drop was in about a 5 to 10 minute period. So I'd left out that that sometimes when the market goes down quickly or even gradually or up quickly or say more than gradually, that can trigger liquidations on leverage trading. So that's probably played a role in the big drop last week. My rebuy range, if you do some swing trading, is around 26K. We're pretty close to that now, down to maybe 25, 26 to 25 is that range. It seems to be holding at the moment. Could be a good entry for a swing trade position if you do that kind of thing. And then if you're looking for a short, I've got the range up here between 30 and I think 31.5. So that looks pretty good to me. On Ethereum, readjusted this. Not sure what that is. Oh, that's an old alert. Okay. So the bottom range is between about 1650, 1620. And then the range that was support for quite a while, this 1850 area to the 1890 is now looks like resistance. So I'll probably engage another short when we get up here. And I've got a long position going at the moment down here. Okay, any questions or comments about the markets overall, Bitcoin and Ethereum?
I would add one thing.
Okay.
Apparently, Vitalik sold more than $1 million worth of Ethereum, which might have freaked some people out too, which could contribute as well. I don't know when he did it exactly and when the word leaked out, but supposedly he put $1 million on Coinbase of Ethereum. Now he has $1 billion worth of Ethereum, and it's tiny.
It is.
But it may be enough to spook some other people, or I don't know. And again, I don't even know when exactly he did it and when the word leaked out, but it was just Rand was talking about it earlier that he had done that. So, and that may be after, I don't really know, but it's at least potentially something to throw in there as well.
Yeah. Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, selling some Ethereum could raise a few eyebrows, but that's such a small amount of what he has that, he's got to, he's got to buy things with cash too. So he will have to cash out crypto from time to time. We all do it. So
yeah, that was the explanation.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just hear he's selling and you don't really know,
Mm-hmm.
that might freak some people out. Again, I don't know if it's really even important, but it did happen, and more or less close in time. So for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's it's frustrating to me how what thin skin people have in crypto, and I'm a day trader, so I'm in and out all trades all day, but I'm on my hodls on what I'm holding. That's frustrating to see that when just if Elon Musk sneezes or Vitalik sells less than 1% of what he owns for cash and people freak. Yeah, it's frustrating, but it's short term. I mean, it's going to bounce back. Ethereum's technology didn't change last week, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. Well, thank you for that. Anything else? How about you, Craig?
No.
All right.
Nothing.
So, due to the low participation in today's Zoom call, I'm going to change the format. I'm going to show you something I've been experimenting with, and it may or may not be useful to you guys, but so I'm going to go away from the Altcoin Alert and iCoinPro approaches that I usually use and show you something a little different. So this is Didix. This is one of my favorite coins to trade because it trades in a range frequently. I can look at it, I can spot the range, and I'll draw it out real quick. It's from about here, down to about here. So it's been trading in this range since Saturday. So I get, let's start with this one. So if I get a bullish divergence indicator alert here, I'm pretty confident that I can get that 1% I'm looking for. And, here I get it in 3 hours. So I'm trading on leverage and use a third-party software that'll manage my trades for me automatically. And I'm just looking for 1%. 1% times 10x leverage, that's 10%. I love piling up 10% wins. So that's what I do. And instead of looking for coins that are pumping one direction radically or dropping one direction radically, which can stop and switch at any time, this is actually more preferable to me as a day trader. And we can look at this. Didn't quite get out on this short, but I eventually get out here. 6.5 hours later, I've got my 1%. So when I see something that's moving but in a range, that appeals to me. Now, neither Altcoin Alert and iCoinPro are really geared to find this kind of trading because they're more focused on spot trading. So they're looking for bigger moves without using leverage. And I like that too. But today I'm going to focus, since I don't have any Altcoin Alert people on at the moment who I know use that system frequently, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about how I'm trying to find these kind of trades. And the easiest way for me is to just look at my list and look for something that I know is usually volatile, at least, or volatile enough, and then but hasn't moved a whole lot that day cumulatively. So, this range on Didix is about 3%. I know Didix is pretty active. If it stays within that 3%, I can trade it each direction, 3, 4, 5 times in a day, pick up those 10% wins. So here's what I did today. Well, actually, I'll show you what I did last week, and then I'll show you what I did today. So to go back to my Bitcoin chart, go to the 5-minute. And so today, Bitcoin is mostly trending up, at least as of 8 o'clock this morning. We had this big dip down early this morning, then been trending up. When I was looking at this morning, this is what I was looking at. And I was saying, okay, it's trending down. I'll see if anything is trending up. So I'll click on my change percent, and it'll sort for me. It'll sort my Bybit list, and I can look at coins that are going against the grain a little bit, because sometimes those have that nice range I just talked about. So this morning, here's Didix. It was up on the list a little higher than this. I did look at Litecoin, but it just didn't move enough. I looked at Ethereum Classic as well and ruled that one out. Now this is new, XMR and Waves. These were not here this morning, nor KDA. So these three are new. The XMR is an older coin, doesn't move as much. Waves. Well, let's look at XMR. This XLM has been pumping. Go back to the 15-minute chart. I'll put divergence back on. And so at the moment, these bullish ones are doing pretty well. At least back testing back to Saturday. 1% there. And then once I see that, I can kind of just eyeball it. 1%. I didn't quite make 1%. Probably takes this dip, then goes back up. This short, eventually I would have gotten out of this the next day with my auto trading software. It would have made additional purchases for me up here, and then I would have gotten out probably around here. This one, probably the same. Let's see, what time did this one trigger? 8:45 at night on Saturday. I probably don't take either of these trades. I don't usually trade weekends, so but I have to look at it for back testing purposes, these short-term back testing. So better examples would be these that triggered on Sunday night. And anyway, the point is, the last, these three would have been profitable. I probably would have taken one of them, and this one's obviously very profitable. So I don't see any losses here, where I take a divergence trade and it goes against me, say 6+%. That's usually going to be a loss with my approach. So, where I get stopped out. So that's one way to find these kind of trades, these kind of coins that are going a little bit against the grain. They can be in a range. Another way to do this is to scroll down a little bit farther and look at coins that are right around 0. Because if it's 0, maybe it went up 3%, down 3%, up 3%, kind of like the Didix chart I showed you a little while ago. So theta is one that can be pretty good for this. Zen is one I like. I've been trading a lot lately. Let's look at Zen. Okay. So this short, 2.5%. Okay, 1% there. That's short. Then I know what the percentages are generally, so I can just look at them and I don't have to measure them all out. I can tell that would have been profitable. I can tell that would have been profitable. That would have been profitable. So the Zen looks like a good one for this purpose. To get those 1% moves at 10x leverage or 5x leverage or even 1 or 2x leverage, whatever you're comfortable with, or you can trade these in spot and just take the long positions. I've been thinking about teaching something on BingX, which is an exchange that's available. It doesn't require KYC or the need for a VPN to access, and maybe just suggesting that people trade 1% shorts on those on that exchange so they can take advantage of coins moving down. So I'm pondering that. That's something you want to see or see me talk about, then send me a message. You can use the principles that I talk about in my usual Zooms to trade like that if you want, but I've discouraged spot traders or new traders who are just learning to trade spot to trade on leverage. But if you trade 1x or 2x, then you might be safe. Just don't get seduced and go up to 10x, 20x, 50x, 100x, and you barely know how to trade. That would be a bad idea. Okay, so that's Zen. Okay, so instead of looking at my list, maybe I can look at another source. I mean, I do have Altcoin Alert up. So instead of using the usual sorts I talk about, we talked about this one from time to time. You can go with the 24-hour change. And then if you want to trade both directions, look for low single digits for coins that are usually volatile. We talked about XMR. We didn't look at KDA yet. We talked about DIDX. HBAR is one I mentioned earlier. Bitcoin's on here, but doesn't move enough for this purpose. Axie sometimes does. It's a bit hit and miss. Let's look at that one. Okay, going back to Sunday afternoon. One day of back testing isn't great generally, but for our purposes, we're really only looking for one day. So it's obvious that all these bearish divergences would have been successful. Not sure about this bullish ones. Check it out. Down here. This would have triggered one additional trade for me, and I probably would have gotten out around here somewhere. So yeah, it's not great, but this qualifies. I would probably set this one aside and maybe look at some other things. Another option. CryptoBubble.com. I know Craig likes this one. Whoa. Or is this something I just typed in CryptoBubble.com and something else came up?
You've only
It
got
says
one W there.
12 bubble. 12 crypto you got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, this isn't right. What is it?
It's just crypto.com, isn't it? No,
Crypto bubble.
Crypto Bubbles. Maybe that's it. CryptoBubbles.net.
yeah.
All right, sorry for that. So this will show you, let's go with a day. So I'm going to check out, I clicked on a day here. I just want to know what's going on today. So you could look at some low Some that are going against the grain, like I showed you in the first chart. So you can see most of the market's down today, but a few of them are up. ETC might be one to look at. We talked about LTC. OP is not available on my system, but is something you can, I believe you can trade long and short on a market, on a exchange directly. AKT I've never heard of. Maybe I could sort it by. Now I'm just kind of winging it. Let's go by day. All right, this is a little easier than picking out individual bubbles, so. Well, let's take a quick look at ETC. Maybe it's changed since I looked at it this morning.
What I do, CJ, I look at that a lot and I put it on the day. Then I click it on the hour and see which ones have flipped from red to green or green to red. And how big is the move? If you go up to the top where you can pick the time frame.
Okay, well, I'm doing that here, so.
Yeah.
I like lists a little better than bubbles, so despite my being on the crypto bubble site.
Sometimes one just jumps, it's giant, it blows up and jumps out at you.
Okay. All right, so that's more of a visual. So if I look at the hour, then yeah. Like Maker just jumped up 1.5%. Not a huge amount, but
it doesn't always work, but
yeah. Okay. Well, let me go with my comfort zone at the moment, and
sure.
We'll maybe do that approach a little later. Where was I? ETC, that's what I was looking at. Okay, so 15-minute divergence looks pretty good on the surface, but will it move enough? Okay, that one moved nicely. This one. Maybe get out right about here, 6 hours later, not bad. That's probably a good one. Well, I can tell it's gonna dip and then shoot up. This one could be problematic. Yeah, it doesn't quite get me out at my 1%, get an additional purchase. Eventually I get out here. So this looks better. Maybe I shouldn't have written this one off this morning, so it looks pretty good now. After my 2 losses on Rune. Yeah, ETC looks good. This one you might still be in, but yeah, I'd still be in that trade, that short from about 10:30 this morning. So yeah, ETC looks pretty good. So we looked at a few different options of finding these coins that are moving in a range, and we looked at, I don't know if RSI. You might get something like this on the Buddy coin crawler on iCoinPro. I was messing around with this earlier today, because this will give you on this 5% can be positive or negative. So maybe if I dropped it, I usually look for 4% or higher for moving coins that are moving. But a better approach might be, for the range trading, to drop down here in the 1s and 2s. I like render. Solana. Let's go down below 1%. See if we can find a ranging coin. So here's where Didix is, down here at 1.18%. So let's see if I can find something else. IOTax, Rose, traded those before. Doge. I actually like trading Doge on leverage, so let's check it out. Yeah, but this is what I don't want. You see how it's just trending down like this, and I'm getting a bunch of bullish divergences, but they're probably not going to be enough to trigger wins. Yeah, it's a 0.5% before its drop. Yeah, it probably doesn't quite make it before it drops. Yeah, that's no good. This one might have been. Oh, and a big drop here. So all of these kind of go nowhere. They might come back on my system, but the only one that's clearly profitable is this one here at 830 after the Bitcoin had about a 0.5% drop, and then it rebounded pretty quickly. So that one didn't work out. Not a good range there. Let's see, CHR I looked at. Cody can be pretty volatile. It's showing 1% today. Is it within a range or just drifting? It's mostly drifting. Volume's not that good either. But sometimes you'll see small moves like this on the chart, but they're actually, 2, 3, 4%. That's good stuff. Now this one drops down here, maybe gets me in an additional position, and then I get out here. And this is a similar one that we just saw on Doge. So I'm not seeing what I'm looking for in the Buddy coin crawler at the moment. That could be a matter of luck, could be just the way it's set up. So I like what I see on Crypto Bubble and the Altcoin Alert 24-hour change, looking for numbers between about 1%, -1%. So KDA keeps coming up. Maybe we'll look at that one real quick. All right, well, this is a little more interesting. You get a V shape. So this short does well. This long could have been problematic. I would have gotten out with one additional purchase on that. This short would have worked for me. And then here's a long. Let me reset that. And this long is obviously a good trade. So KDA looks good. So that was useful there on Altcoin Alert. So you can use, free service like Crypto Bubbles. There's others, Coin Gecko, and there are other free options that use this. And then obviously I like to just use my list. And then I will also use the Altcoin Alert 24-hour approach. I know that's available to me. I didn't use it today, but I looked at my usual stuff on Altcoin Alert and followed those. But like the AA score and the long-term sentiment, I think those could be more useful for longer day trades, short-term swing trades, and obviously a spot trade. So sort of merging some of these approaches, some of the new things I'm doing. Any questions or comments about what I've talked about?
I like it. I'm doing
All right.
something similar with some other indicators, but similar kind of thing.
Okay. Cool. We have someone kind of new. Who's David? David, you want to say hello and unmute? Actually, unmute, then say hello.
Good morning, CJ.
Hello, David. You sound familiar. Have we spoken before?
Yeah, he's one of my mates.
Frequently. Another Kiwi.
Okay.
Came via the phone.
All right, cool. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll wrap it up here. If you are a Carbon member, stick around. We will. You'll need to use the new link to access that one, starting at 4 p.m. Pacific. If you're watching on the recording, sorry for the curveball, but hopefully you found this useful. Please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment to help fund the channel, and we will see you guys at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Have a good one.